brothers and sisters, we have been chosen. We are going to the promised lands, Valhalla. This is it. The pumps are here. Valhalla, gospel, Jesus will be proud of you for holding your crypto. Your children's 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 children will remember your name. So ladies and gentlemen, a toast, because we, holders, are the new wealthy elite. So long your longs. Buy the dip, tell your friends, your families, your fucking neighbors to buy this shit. Because we are going to the moon!
GM and welcome back to the channel. I hope you enjoyed that intro. I'm thinking maybe that will be the intro during the bull market. BitLord doing what BitLord does best, being an absolute nutcase and getting people to hodl during the actual Pico top of the market back in November 2021. Anyway, we digress. Today we're going to go through the market update macro-wise into BTC and to some news. So I hope you enjoy this one. And if you do enjoy this, share with friends, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Let's just jump in. So starting here with the dollar index, DXY, as you can see, this trend line on the hourly seems to be holding and the dollar is losing some of that strength that has been shown over the previous months. I mean, it's been going up only for like 13, 14 weeks. We seem to have put a top in at around 107, a bit of a deviation above, but now it is coming on down. Now, long term, my good friend Eric Crown has the analysis that potentially the dollar is on a move higher over coming months, but in the short term, it is actually showing weakness here. And you can see this by the trend line here, and it is now below 106s, which is providing some let up here in the markets. So if we look over at the SPX, so the S&P 500, the area I was looking at yesterday did hold. So these were actually the lows from Friday and then Wednesday last week. So Wednesday last week, 42.34. Friday low was around 42.44. And we didn't even touch this during the open on Monday when we did gap down. So obviously the Middle East fears were in the market. But as you can see, Tradfi really has just bought that all back up straight away and then some. It's up around 0.5% again today. So this brings us over to Cold-Blooded Schiller and his analysis. He does some good streams for free as well over on Twitch if you want to check him out. But he says, look, perfect play out in TradFi so far, but crypto has looked a lot weaker. I think we're close to a major decision point. You want Dixie to fail the range and start closing below 105.3 for the bullish case. Let's see how this shapes up. We've looked at SPX. Here is the NASDAQ here, and similar kind of thing, showing strength here from Monday, bit of a dip down, brought all the way back up and then some once again. And this kind of area here, as you can see, could be a bit of a resistance, 15,183 on the charts there. So a few levels to keep eyes out upon. TradFi, fear and greed. So this one's an interesting one I just found. So over on CNN Business, you can see the fear and greed index for the traditional markets, and they are very fearful. 34. The previous day was a 29 Monday. Obviously, over the weekend, all those Middle Eastern concerns meant that people were obviously fearful. Hence, we saw a bit of a sell-off. It has been brought back up, but you can still see people are generally fearful for the market, which probably is a sensible thing anyway, considering we have no idea how much of an escalation there could be. But this is quite funny to compare versus crypto bros who are doing not so well in terms of the altcoins are getting a bit of a pasting here, BTC dominance up, but what you can see is here we're still at neutral levels at a 50 read. So clearly we've been through the mill more times than TradFi. We're used to some ridiculous drawdowns on portfolio valuations, and so even during this period where we're losing money on the alts and things are a bit fearful, we're still at a neutral read. So obviously we've seen some worse days, and that PTSD means that these little shakeouts aren't seemingly worrying too many. Let's move on to Bitcoin. Now, funnily enough, looking at the charts here, even with war fears, etc., the Bitboy arrest area has still not been touched. The pivot still around 27,000 US. We are above that, but as you can see, Bitcoin is kind of keeling over a little bit, not showing some great momentum, but nonetheless putting in higher lows. If you just look at these on the hourly chart here, it is slowly but surely grinding its way up. 27,564 is the price right about now. Bringing in this from Runner XBT over on Twitter, another good follow. He's mapped out this using volume profiles here. Again, showing a bit of a downturn in terms of momentum waning for Bitcoin. The value area high here, which is a point of support or resistance, depending on where you're looking at the charts. And here in this volume profile, it would be an area of support, comes in around 27.2K. So he's saying, look, you don't want to lose this area or the point of control. So you can see from the volume profile, it's not all the most bold on this chart, but it is faintly in the background here. The point of control is around here, which is 26,000. So a loss of 27.2, he's saying go down to 26. And from watching Eric Crown's analysis, obviously he's a quant trader and looks at statistics and probabilities. These areas actually do align up. Crown says we lose 27. This guy is 27.2. If we lose 27s, we go down to the low 26s. This guy the same, coming up with a similar conclusion from different types of analysis. So that's pretty cool to see as we're getting confluence from different trading styles there. So 27Ks or low 27Ks, key area to watch. Now you can tell we are in a bear market here, as just in $4.5 trillion asset manager Fidelity says Bitcoin is the most secure, decentralized, and sound digital money compared to any other digital asset. So it's bigging up Bitcoin in a major way, obviously saying maybe the other coins are shit coins. Bitcoin is the one true coin. Of course, they're expecting their spot ETF application to be approved at some point in the not too distant future. So they are going to be starting to shill BTC. They're a huge asset manager, but this is the kind of headline that in a bull market sends Bitcoin up on a big green dildo. But today, pretty much tumbleweed. Now, a couple of charts from Pentoshi, another great trader who I like to check in with from time to time and see what he is thinking on markets. The first chart he posted here is just the crypto total market excluding Bitcoin and ETH. So this is also known as the total 3 chart if you want to pull that up on TradingView. And you can see it's kind of basing here over the year 2023 from around $300 billion. So we've obviously had some periods where we were more bullish, a bit bearish, a few deviations below, but seem to be settling along that 300 billion market cap. Now, this doesn't mean the altcoins will remain at the prices they're at. There's obviously going to be winners and losers, but overall, as there are more altcoins launched all the time, if the total 3 market cap stays the same, it would mean most altcoins are actually losing value due to the increasing number of them. Factor in the things like inflation of tokens as well, and you can see why we would get a bit of a slow bleed. And this factors into the second chart here. He posted time-based capitulation may go on longer than expected for a number of reasons: stagflation, higher rates for longer. More on rates in just a moment though. So he posted this showing you the price-based capitulation, the start of a bear market where we get prices just coming down, and then we get time-based capitulation, which takes quite a while. Go into bull market 2021, we get price-based capitulation followed by time-based capitulation. So he's saying this could potentially run on further. Now, if we go over to the chart here for Cardano, I think this is a pretty good one to pull up due to the fact it's been through numerous cycles. You can see this kind of first pump up it had during a bear, May of 2018, and it wasn't really until around here, September of 2020, before it really started to gain some momentum. I mean, it's only like 2-3x off the lows at that point even. So that is a total of 2 years of this kind of time-based capitulation, Cardano seen in the previous bear. Now, if we fast forward to this, we have the first like pump up area, and now we go into time-based capitulation. If this lasts 2 years, that would be until like August of 2022 through to August of 2024. And so there could be a long period of drawn out boringness in the market. Potentially. Who knows whether that will occur? Of course, we are in different times. Many factors at play. Interest rates, will they be cut? We have the Bitcoin ETF and the halving coming next year, which could kickstart a potential bull run. And we could also have a flight to safety as some countries don't want to hold US dollars anymore. Remember, the US government being less and less trusted overall. Maybe crypto, maybe BTC will be an escape valve for that. Into some news now, some fairly amusing here. So we have this US grocery chain called Trader Joe has sued, of course, TraderJoe.xyz, which is the DEX that first kicked off AVAX's big move in 2021. So Trader Joe now is a multi-chain application, but they're getting sued here by actual Trader Joe, the grocery store. CEO Fish had to say this: "Thanks for the well wishes. For what it's worth, it's not the first time we've had to deal with this. Won't be commenting any further until we have more clarity." Obviously, for legal reasons, he's not going to say too much on this, but pretty amusing that a cryptocurrency is being sued by a grocery store. So things going from bad to worse for crypto bros. Even grocery stores don't want to be associated with us. Now, moving into the Arbitrum incentive program here, Trader Joe has pretty much received the tick of approval for their grant to be approved. So if there is a major sell-off of the Joe token, this is something to factor in. They're going to be receiving 1.5 million ARB tokens. So say that's roughly just over $1 million worth of incentives. And they're going to spend it over a 12-week period as seen below. Market maker incentives, etc., but auto pool yield farms. 360,000 tokens going to yield farms, i.e. incentives that community participants can get their hands on. So this could actually drive some traction to the platform here. Over 12 weeks, that's a pretty decent turnout. 120,000 tokens per month hitting the market. So say 100 grand of incentives, not too shabby. So just something to think about here, as Joe does seemingly take a bit of a nosedive off the back of being sued. Now we also have Paul Tudor Jones also speaking about BTC and the economy here. First thing he says: "I like Bitcoin and I like gold." Sounds a little bit autistic with just that statement on screen there, but it goes to show that the Tradfi guys are slowly but surely hyping up BTC. They've got something to sell you in the future. They want to lay the groundwork right now. Could this be a bit of insight that the ETF, the spot ETF, is coming sooner than we expect? Then he also said this: "Sounds a bit stupid. Spending cuts and higher taxes for most will be needed." This seems quite tone deaf. As someone who watches quite a lot of vlogs on US, Peter Santanello is a great channel to watch for that kind of stuff. Spending cuts certainly isn't something that is required inside the US. They need to actually invest more money from what I've seen, and higher taxes would actually cripple the majority of people who are seemingly working 2 jobs and more just to make ends meet. So spending cuts and higher taxes being needed for most, I think that is one way to get your population to turn against you. And then a final one here: Fed's Bostich, "We don't need to increase rates anymore." That of course means interest rates have peaked and they will be coming down. They are telegraphing that, it seems now, to the general public. The next rate decision is the 1st of November, and you can see 86% chance of remaining the same. CME Group not showing any potential for a cut, but could this be a bit of a preamble for an unexpected cut? We'll wait and see. So Dixie down, Tradfi markets have picked back up. Bitcoin stalling a little bit around 27.5. It does seem pretty up in the air as to whether we will go up or down from this point. Drop me your opinions down below, and I will see you guys in the next one tomorrow. Peace.